Welcome to Psychic Holistic Spotlight. I'm your host, Josie Way, and tonight we have Ken Demers co-hosting with me, and we have, yes, you recognize her, Miss Kathy Medeiros, as our guest. Once again, Kathy is wearing another hat as a guest, and she's going to share with you about integrating many modalities into her healing. She does angel card readings and mediumship. So when she's doing a healing, if she gets a message, you will get it. She does Karuna Reiki, Holy Fire Reiki, Yusui Reiki. Mm-hmm. Have I forgotten one?
Not for the Reikis, no. Not for that, no.
And each one has different symbols that can be added to further healing. Mm-hmm. And they're just basic psychic abilities that you hear the angels, and sometimes you get visions.
Yes, yes.
You know, that where they make things clear through a vision. Mm-hmm. And it's a lot of stuff to use in a coordinated way. But when I'm thinking about when we share in a group messages, when I start to give a message, you recognize who it's from.
Yes.
Before I've given you very much. Oh, that's Uncle Joe. He used to do this. Because you hear Uncle Joe say, psh, it's me.
Yeah. Exactly how it works, yeah.
But when you're working with someone else, and the healing is for someone else, you know, you don't necessarily know they have an Uncle Joe.
Yeah.
But you'll say, I've got an uncle here.
Yes,
and he told me, and he was a business expert, so if he says, watch your finances, that's something you need to do.
Absolutely, that's what I've learned, yeah. You have to trust the messages that you get, though, because it may not always make sense at the time, but as time comes up, it will.
Isn't that funny how sometimes the strangest message comes out and the person understands it?
Yeah. Yeah, that's, you know, when I do the development circles, was what you were hinting at. Mm-hmm. I host a development circle once a month where we basically develop our gifts. And it's always try to instill in people, it's like, it doesn't have to make sense to you. You're the one giving the message.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, as long as it makes sense to the person you're reading for, that's the important thing. You know, because like, even if it's the most random little memory, it could be like a little teddy bear. It's like, where is that coming from? But yeah, you know, they know who it is, though, because, you know, this particular uncle or cousin gave them a little teddy bear when they were 5 years old, and it was like their favorite toy. Mm-hmm. So at that point, though, they know who it is.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what happens a lot, though, when I'm giving a Reiki session. You know, and you know, as a healer, you know, it's like after a while, though, you know, you tend to pick up on messages and feelings and stuff, and all that stuff. There's a lot of stuff. So when I'm giving message, like the healing, though, you know, it's like I try to keep my mind out of the way, because, you know, it's like I'm the channel. I'm the one, you know, Spirit is working through me, though, to give the healing. I'm just the conduit. Mm-hmm. You know, kind of like, you know, it's the teacher gives the information. They're just passing the information along.
Yeah.
So that's what happens in a Reiki session. And so a lot of times, like, you know, like spirit will come through.
Now, do you have an agreement with Spirit that lets you know that your ego has got in there? Because I get an uh-oh. That my
Say that again.
I get an uh-oh from Spirit, and I feel it here, that tells me I didn't transmit the message correctly, that my ego or my understanding
Misinterpreting
misunderstood
from your...
it. I get I get a message.
Coming from your background, it put a
Basically,
different
our
meaning
mind,
on
yeah.
it.
Basically, our mind is getting in the way, is what she's referring to.
Yeah.
The way I receive that, it's like, oh, it's like, okay, stop. I get like a big stop sign, you know? And it's like, and they're like, okay, wait a minute, you gotta try that again though, because you didn't get that right.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so that's when I say, okay, give me a second, I gotta back up a little bit. I'm not giving you the message the right way.
Yeah.
Or the information the right way. I'm like, okay, let me try this differently. And if I still don't get it, I'm like, okay, guys, tell me in a different way, I'm not getting it. I'm
Yeah.
just not understanding what you're trying to tell me.
Yeah.
So that's where the mediumship comes in, you know, and being psychic too, though, I get a lot of that random, it's like, okay, this is what's going on in the future for you, though, so you need to pay attention to it. It's like,
Yeah, this is what you need to look for.
yeah, so I get a lot of that, though, you know, and, you know, like people, you know, they just want to be pointed in the right direction.
Now, I'm a big fan of Kathy, but tonight I'm going to harass her a little bit.
Oh, no.
Oh, come on.
Okay,
Ken.
you read angel cards, right?
do.
And you talk to angels.
I do.
Why do you bother using the cards? Why not ask them?
Affirmation.
Yes, and then, you know, a lot of times, though, when, you know, when someone's coming to you, though, you know, they want something to look at.
They want to see that you're getting the information from
Yes,
someone.
and you know, as humans, though, we want something tangible. We want something to hold on to. It's like, okay, this makes sense. I remember seeing this picture. I remember reading those words. You know, as humans, we want something tangible. So, you know, a lot of times I just use it for them, though, so it's just to make them feel a little bit more comfortable. So they're not just focused on what I'm saying.
And the same thing applies when you're doing healings. If you have a good rapport, working relationship with the angels, why not just ask them to be of assistance? 'Cause
Oh,
they
the
got
other
a-
ones
We
don't
always
work.
do.
The other ones don't
Well, I'm
work.
saying instead of the spiritual, instead of the mediumship,
Well, it's
instead
coming.
of X people, just deal with the angels because they are higher. Most of them
Well, sometimes
Well,
our loved ones want to
are
come
higher
through.
vibrations.
Sometimes
Yeah.
our loved ones want to come through. It's like, hey, I'm healed. I made it to spirit okay. I made it to heaven okay. You know,
Yeah.
as us being humans, and a lot of times is what we're taught by religion or, you know, by society, we tend to think there's a big disconnect between heaven and earth, or spirit and earth in this dimension.
Yeah,
It's as
certain
far away as your breath.
religions think
It is.
certain religions will teach you you're going to go to hell, which doesn't really exist.
Well, not in the way religion presents it, no.
According to the
But there
Pope,
is.
it is a state of mind.
According to
last
one of the
pope.
popes,
Yes.
it doesn't exist.
Yes.
I mean, you have to have bad if you know, to know what good is. You have to have that duality.
That's kind of true.
You know, you have to have that duality of going like, you
That
know, that's what it's
contrast.
meant. Yes. You know, like man, woman, child, adult. You have to have that duality
And
to
we
know what
learn,
the other is.
we learn better from the negative than we do from the positive.
Yes, because it's the negative that we remember more. You know, for some reason, though, being in this dimension, we tend to remember the heavier stuff. You know, it's easier to remember the heavy stuff than it's the lighter stuff, the good stuff. You know, and you know, lots of times, so that's why we need, you know, the conduit, the in between, you know, the medium. By definition, the medium. You know, that in between.
When
you know,
do you
it's like,
become a lodge?
She hopes never.
I hope never. Oh my goodness. So, you know, it's like being the conduit, though. You
We
know,
grow
it's like,
spiritually, not physically, we hope.
The aura goes out farther and farther.
Well, haven't you noticed that amongst mediums, there are many that struggle with their weight?
Because they're taking so much energy in through the solar plexus.
yeah.
And
That is a big
because
problem.
they take in some positives and some negatives, and when it all comes out in the soup, they tend to eat a little bit more. You think about it
Well,
this way.
it is energy.
If you're-
the energy is being converted into the body.
If you're a little depressed and you pick up someone else's depression, then you want more comfort food. You have to
But
not
you're,
pick
you're
up that
associating it
depression.
with the intake of food. I'm associating it with the intake of energy, which
Well, it's the
it's a
same thing, right?
non-physical. Well, kind of it is.
It's fuel.
But if you're opening yourself up to allow energy to come in, usually through that type of energy through the solar plexus, it's being transformed into energy of the body, which tends to put on weight.
Which, well, tends to want to hold weight. on the
Well, for
body.
every action, we need a reaction, right?
Yeah.
That's where the duality part comes in too. So, yeah. So, I mean, food is energy, though, like we were
Yes.
saying, though. But yeah, we do tend to struggle, though, with the weight, though. So I try to keep a close eye on
Just
my
look at
weight.
me.
When we choose food, we're less likely to choose the bunny style food.
Yeah, there's that. There's that.
Right here.
It's a save the money thing. Make sure there's enough food left for them.
Yeah. Yeah, the heavier stuff, though, so we can stay kind of, in our bodies, though, so to speak.
Yeah, I'm
though.
thinking the macaroni and cheese and the other pastas.
Yeah,
But
that's the
anyway.
heavier foods. Definitely the heavier stuff, though. Yeah, which is a whole nother thing, though, too, to help us ground.
So-
But there's different ways for that.
But to be honest, there is a way working with the angels and God that you can modify your eating habits. Most recently, I have been working and I'm losing weight very slowly but very consistently, like 2 pounds a month. And it's a healthy thing.
Get yourself, I can't remember what they're called, camoles. They're like a little silk slip
Yeah.
that women wear.
Yeah.
Get one that's made out of silk that'll cover the center portion of your body,
The core.
the core of your body. You think about the root energy of silk,
Silk.
which is a
Little
silkworm,
worms.
which makes this cocoon around itself for protection. So the silk
Cami.
garment, that's the word. The cameo is providing a barrier of defense for your body from energies that are coming in.
I like that.
Yes, that sounds,
So
That sounds
it
good.
can help you to lose weight. And
yeah.
Yeah,
might sound strange, but
That's a good replacement for grounding stones. If you don't have any grounding stones to keep you here, the
Grounding.
grounding stones, like the tiger's,
Stones?
yeah,
oh, tiger's eye,
tiger's
magnetite.
eye, yeah,
Black tourmaline
Yes.
is really good.
yeah, which is what I
But
need
that
all the
protects
time.
well,
Yes.
too.
Yes, which is a good. So a lot of times when we connect, we tend to be up here, above our crown in the higher self. So our soul tends to be up here, and so we need the stuff, whether camisole or the grounding stones to keep us back down, to
Yeah.
keep us in our body, so to speak. So there's not like you don't get that flighty
Or you
kind of
just
feeling.
will ourselves to be connected to the earth mother.
Yeah.
We could do
Well,
that, yeah,
it's-
but I have a problem with that.
It's
so.
easy
Not how I
for
feel.
you to will yourself to be connected to the earth because you're a Capricorn, which is an earth sign. But if you're an air sign like myself, it's very easy to float around and be an airhead.
I'm a fire sign though, so I'm like just all over the place. I'm just all over the place with my emotions, like all over.
Typical woman.
Listen, you. So going back to the Reiki though, since as you said, though, I
Yes.
teach 3 different styles of Reiki. The Yusui, Karuna Ki, and the Holy Fire. So as far as like knowing which one to use, it depends on the intention. Like with the Yusui Reiki, there's like three big symbols that we use a lot of
Yes.
times for the healing. There are some master symbols that definitely will aid in that. So if you just want to remember the simple symbols, the easy ones though, that's one I suggest. Yusui Holy Fire though, that's our fairly simple symbol to remember, but that's more of a soft, loving energy, even though it's fire in the name. For the Karuna or the Karuna Ki, the same lineage, it's just one's registered, one's not. That's really the only difference.
Now, why would you limit to the symbol is actually a Japanese word for somebody's name.
That's not somebody's name.
No.
It used to be.
No.
No.
No, we
And
went
when
through
they're
this already.
calling in that symbol, you're calling in that particular
No,
spiritual
we're
guide.
sending in, we're calling in the energy of the symbol. The symbol's never anybody's name.
It used to be.
No. They're all different Sanskrits or different characters of different parts of words, of symbols they kind of put together.
Yep.
It's all energy. It's not.
Is there a
in
symbol
one-
that encompasses all of them? So you can just go, this boom,
No,
atomic
No.
bomb type
No.
healing thing.
no, not
No.
like that though. You have to, each one is a
Much
different
simpler
purpose.
that way.
Well,
Well-
it is. But if you've been doing this a little while, though, you tend to just know what they are anyway, though, which
Yeah.
is what I recommend now anyway, though, for people, is to keep practicing and keep learning the symbols so you have it in your head. But when I teach it, though, and you're at a level, though, where you're learning symbols, I give them all a cheat sheet. So, they can go by that, though. Well, a cheat sheet, though, it's really all the symbols that you learn in the class.
When I teach people healing, I teach them, don't put limitations on it, just
Well,
understand
it's not
that.
limitations, though. They all
Yeah.
have different
Well,
purposes.
if, I know, but what I'm saying is just will it to happen on an unconditional basis with,
Well, that's the intent, yes.
Yeah.
That's all
There's
that's
always an
required.
intent.
Well,
well,
it's kind of like speaking different languages. You have to be able to understand the language to use it. Granted, though, it's like there's different ways to do the same thing, and that's what you teach healing differently than the way I teach healing. Reiki is one form of healing. You teach your healing though differently because it's a different healing energy.
Yours is somewhat universal and simple, working directly with the angels and past and loved ones that want to send energy. It's a spiritualist
well,
energy.
when I'm going to do
Healing.
a healing with somebody, I tell them to make the intention first. The intention is for healing on all levels.
Yes.
Mental, physical, spiritual, emotional, and because we live in an economic world, financial. And then I said, okay, we'll do the ABCs. I ask the angels, the Buddha, the Christ, the Muhammad, the buffalo calf woman, but most important of all, that aspect of your soul that's in charge of healing for that body. Ask
Yeah.
them to step in and do a healing.
Yeah.
With the understanding that all the big guys, we know that they're going to be there because we've asked them in the past to come in anytime we do a healing.
Yeah.
Well, that's where your mind gets out of the way.
Yeah.
You have
From
to get your
What
mind out of the way.
we'll ignore that.
Yes.
From my experience with Karuna, it is very gentle, and I feel it's well suited to people who need to heal themselves in many ways. They're the people that are caregivers and taking care of a lot of other people lose sight of what they need.
That's why I like Karuna lineage the best. It's because of that, though. There's a lot of symbols. I can't remember all of them right now.
Yeah.
But each one is a little bit different for a different purpose. Kind of like, like where two people might come to me though for a reading or a Reiki session for two very different purposes. They'll get, say 2 or 3 very different symbols, but they'll still get the healing.
Who comes up with the symbols?
Well, the person that originates the lineage though gets download.
Is inspired with them.
Yes, from spirit that actually gives the person the symbols and what they're used for.
Okay, so it's a mediumship answer
Yes.
to a request for an upgraded healing system.
Yes, yes. Because we all have this gift of being able to connect with spirit. We just do it differently.
Yeah, everybody's psychic.
I believe when you use the Reikis, it's a more focused and concentrated healing.
If you got all
Then-
these symbols, why wouldn't it be more scattered?
Because it's very specific.
Because
what they're
it
used for.
covers, all the symbols cover all the possible needs.
There's one for past lives. There's one to actually dispel negative energy. There's another one, though, that's just for emotional issues in the current life that can be used with the one for the past life. So if there's like issues that you don't know where they're coming from, you don't
Fears and
have to
stuff.
know what they're coming from.
Now,
you can use both of those symbols to
Somebody walking in
to
off the
relieve that.
street, we have 10 practitioners here, and they have all those different things that you do.
Mm-hmm.
How do we know which one is going to be for which particular specialty that we need?
Whichever one the person is guided to go with. because everyone it's different in how
That would be that beautiful blonde girl in the third seat,
If that's the one that gets your attention, then yes.
or the handsome young man on the end.
Yes, yes. Because this is the thing though that's beautiful about doing this work. There will always be work to do. There will always be healing to do. Because I've taught Josie though a couple of the Reikis though that I teach. And since I practice it as well, some of them might benefit more from Josie helping, because the energy though is more suited for the client than I will be. But yet, my experience though might be better for someone else, or another gentleman that's coming in, looking for a healing session. That might be, better for that though.
I have an example about who you choose. We used to do, with Mary Bouchard years ago, a healing circle and a mediumship circle. And we would take one person, put them in the middle, and each of us give messages. Well, a lot of times, the messages were very much the same. I remember one time that I got a message for someone, and there was a goat in it.
A goat?
A goat.
Okay.
And I didn't know at the time, but they were a Capricorn. But what I did know at the time was they're very stubborn. So I indicated, because I knew them. You can't, if it's someone coming off the street, you can't say, oh, they must be stubborn. That could mean they're a Capricorn. Another person got another symbol that was very stubborn, a donkey. And neither of them talked to each other, but that person also indicated that the person receiving it might have some issues of being stubborn. So a lot of times, it depends upon your knowledge as a healer and spirit working with it to come out with saying the same thing. I think it was like open your mind up to new possibilities.
Well,
Stop being
basically,
so
the more
stubborn.
knowledge that you have on spiritual stuff, it's easier for spirit to
to
come
work
in
through you.
and
Well,
Yes.
it's more
Do
of
this
an
or that.
understanding, yes.
Yes.
Because goat, made sense to you as to what it means for stubborn, but yet a goat to somebody else might be like, oh, it's like they produce milk though, so it's very nutritious, very learning.
or
But-
protection.
Yes, and then the other person though, donkey means the same thing as being stubborn, as is the goat meant for you. So it kind of goes back to what I was saying before, though. It's like we all receive the information differently and works through us differently, but you'll always get what you need.
Yeah, it can be a very similar
As long as they know how to
message.
interpret it.
Well, yes, but that's why you go in the circles to learn that.
I went to see somebody
that's
one
why
time
you
and they
ask
says,
for a
oh, I
signal."
see a big light bulb for you. Okay, what does that mean?
Yeah. Well, there's that though too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to understand though what they're trying to tell you for that.
They
There's
didn't
whole
have a
other thing.
clue what they were trying to tell me.
Well, they shouldn't have given you the message if they didn't know what it meant. But
Yeah.
That's just my
Well,
opinion on that.
what we usually hear in church is, we'll take it with you and see if it means anything, if it comes up to mean anything in the next
it
week or
usually
two.
does.
Well,
though,
this was at a
after, yeah.
psychic fair, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. So since we're all getting to the end of the show, though, I want to say
Oh,
tell
yeah, how can
people-
we reach you?
Yeah, how to reach me. I can be reached by cell phone or text at 508-648-8021. I also have an email, but I'll go past that. It's a little complicated for most people. But I also have a website too, psychicmediumkathy.webs.com. I can also be found on Facebook. So I have a very strong online presence though. So if you just put in Kathy Meadows, you will find me online.
how about people like me that only use telephones?
Well, that's why I say that's my cell phone number is 508-648-8021. I do have
Okay.
voicemail though, so you can leave a voicemail there as well too. But the younger people, they can text out too though if I don't answer the phone, which I can't always answer the phone, so that's why I have text or
That's why you have an answering
voicemail.
machine.
Yeah.
And you can do some healing work by distance,
Yes, yes.
yeah, and mediumship too, on the phone.
Yeah, I can do that though, yeah. So it doesn't have to be in person, or I can do it through phone.
Do you do Skype or any of those things?
I do Skype and do Zoom. My Skype ID is New Age Medium. Yeah, New Age Medium for Skype. I don't use it too much, but I do use it.
What is it?
It's
It's
video
a video,
conferencing.
visual.
Video conferencing through the internet.
You can see who you're talking to.
Yeah,
Oh, that's kind of neat.
yeah, yeah. So as long as you have a camera and internet, though, we can actually talk to someone though through the video. So it's actually really cool.
More better.
Yeah. But I've actually had given a messages though, or Reiki though through Facebook Messenger though as well too, because they have a video as part of their app though too for that.
Yeah.
So.
I want to say thank you to everyone who has tuned into our show. Please come back. We always have new and exciting guests and favorites that you love to see every month.
And we are open to having suggestions.
Yes.
So that we know what kind of guests you want to listen to. Because we know
Yes.
them, it's just a question of who do you ask?
You can call me at 401-575-6450. And Ken, do you want to tell them your number?
401-728-3559.
Okay, between the two of us,
Home most evenings.
The TV show though does have an email address though,
Yes.
too. It's psychicholisticspotlight@gmail.com. We also have a YouTube channel, Psychic Holistic Spotlight in Rhode Island, and a Facebook page as well too.
yeah, so if you want more of us, go to YouTube.
I do all that. Yeah, I do all the internet
She's our
stuff.
techie.
In your spare time.
Yeah, a little spare time though, but I keep up with everything though, so somehow I do it.
She manages.
I do.
And in April, she's going to do the whole show.
Yeah.
So I do enjoy doing all this stuff though, and all the Reiki though, and I love teaching people though, especially when the light bulb goes off. You know, it's like, oh, I get it now. So I love that part though, and then, it's like I love being able to
Wait a
help
minute.
people in some way.
The light bulb goes off. Does that mean it's not putting out light?
It's putting out light. It comes on, really, is what it is.
Thank you, Josie.
Okay.
Yeah, he did say he was going to give me a hard time today, though, didn't he? So if people look at my website, though, I do have scheduled classes coming up. But if that does not fit into your schedule, though, I will schedule out of sync. So I have no problem with that.
So let's hear about your circle that you do.
I hold a development circle and a healing circle once a month each, every month.
Where?
At my office in Fall River in the Buffington building on Purchase Street.
The what building?
Buffington.
Buffington.
Yeah. So I'm on the second floor there.
So everybody's in the buff.
No,
Goodness, I hope not.
we are spiritually open,
Yeah.
but we're wearing clothes.
So the healing circle is open to anybody that is attuned to any healing modalities or none. So I like to give people that option, and so that's the fourth Wednesday of the month at 6:30, and then the second Thursday of the month is the development circle at 7. Both free. So but I will take donations though as well, but it is not necessary. I'd like to be able to give people the ability to be able to learn this though without worrying about finances. So that goes for my classes as well too.
It's good to have at least a small exchange, because Spirit has taught me that people value that for which there's been an
Yeah,
exchange.
so they don't feel like they owe you something, yeah.
Yeah.
So I give that option though too, though. It's like if you can't pay for the full class, though, if you can pay for something, I'm okay with 20, I shouldn't say that, but I'm okay with, something in return for it.
Right.
But we can definitely negotiate that privately. I've done that for many, many students though, that wouldn't have been able to get the classes otherwise or be able to learn it. So, I like to be able to, those are people that are more grateful.
Do you teach the classes over the Skype stuff or
I can.
internet?
I've done that once. We've done all 3 levels with someone once a while ago. So there is that option as well.
Because if somebody, well, I don't know how they would know about it, but if somebody from Western Connecticut or New York or
I've
something.
actually had someone from Michigan that I give Reiki classes to, though, through Skype. He learned about me, though, through a mutual friend, though, that
That's
they
kinda
met.
neat.
Yeah, they met virtually, so, yeah, that was
It's a
interesting.
small world.
Very much so, very much so. So that, that was a great experience for me as well.
Now, do you use these devices for absentee healing?
Well, that's where the distant Reiki comes in, but yes.
Yes. There's a
And-
special
and how
symbol
does that
just for that.
In effectiveness, how does that compare to putting your hands on them or
It's
whatever?
actually the same thing.
So,
Yeah, so it's just, I mean, it's energy, though, so it just travels anywhere where it needs to go.
yeah, kind of instantaneous.
Yeah.
When you do hands-on, though, sometimes you can see the results better than you can when it's at a distance.
Yeah,
You just
because-
have to know the results are there.
Well, that's why I do the
Okay.
migraines, because
Thank you.
the look on
It's
people's
immediate.
faces I like.
Well, hope to
Yeah.
see you again.
Whoop, we're done.
No, not yet.
Well, I
Take
thought we were
care,
done.
be well. Join us again.
We'll definitely have more shows, though, so this
Yes.
yeah.